Welcome back to the Deep Dive. If you're preparing for your UPSC exams, mains, or prelims, staying informed is key, and that's what we're here for.
Absolutely.
Today, we're looking at elephant conservation in India. This has really come back into focus because of a recent poaching incident down in Tamil Nadu. The Hindu reported on it.
Yes, that incident was quite alarming. It's a stark reminder that, wildlife crime hasn't gone away.
So our mission today is pretty straightforward. Unpack the current situation, understand why elephants matter so much, and look at the conservation efforts.
Sounds good. It's a critical topic.
Let's maybe start with the numbers. The ministry, MoEFCC, tracks the population. What's the trend looking like?
Well, it's interesting. The data shows a bit of a fluctuation. Back in 2012, the estimate was over 4,000.
Okay.
But then by 2017, it had dropped quite significantly to under 2,800. That was a worrying period.
That sounds like a big drop.
But the good news, relatively speaking, is that the latest figures from 2024 show a recovery, back up to over 3,000.
So it shows vulnerability, but also maybe some resilience. Or perhaps that conservation efforts are having some impact.
Exactly. It suggests efforts might be working, but that earlier drop really highlights how fragile the situation can be. Understanding these trends is, vital for the UPSC environmental conservation syllabus.
Right. Beyond just the population size, why are elephants considered so crucial? We know they're a national heritage animal, but it goes deeper, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. They're fundamentally a keystone species. Think of them as ecosystem architects, almost.
Ecosystem architects. How so?
Well, their impact is huge. They disperse seeds over vast areas, which is essential for forest health and regeneration.
Okay, seed dispersal. Makes sense.
And their feeding habits, clearing paths, even digging for water in dry riverbeds, this creates opportunities and resources for lots of other species. Their presence really shapes the entire habitat. It's fundamental to biodiversity.
That's a key concept for the UPSC environment paper, that interconnectedness.
Precisely.
Now, when we talk elephants in India, are we talking about a specific type? I know there are African and Asian elephants.
Yes, primarily we're dealing with the Asian elephant, Elephas maximus, specifically the Indian subspecies.
And they're different from the African ones.
They are generally smaller, their ears are smaller and more rounded, and typically only the male Asian elephants have those large, prominent tusks, whereas both male and female African elephants can have them.
Yeah.
India actually holds the majority, about 60% of the world's Asian elephant population.
60%. That's huge. Do we have a recent count?
The 2017 census, the one that showed that dip we mentioned, estimated around 29,964 elephants across the country.
And where are they mainly found?
Karnataka has the highest number, followed by Assam and then Kerala. And interestingly, within protected areas, the Satyamangalam Forest Division, that actually has the highest density. Knowing these distributions is quite relevant for geography and environment questions in the UPSC.
Got it. So, despite the recent recovery in numbers, threats obviously persist. What are the main ones?
Well, the poaching incident highlights one. The illegal ivory trade is still a driver.
Right.
Then there's the ongoing issue of human-elephant conflict. As human settlements expand, elephants lose habitat, leading to clashes over resources, crop raiding.
Which causes problems for both people and elephants.
Exactly. And tied into this is wildlife trafficking, not just ivory, but sometimes other parts or even live animals moved illegally across state or even national borders. These are major hurdles for conservation.
So what's India doing specifically to tackle these threats? What are the key conservation initiatives?
A major one is Project Elephant. It was launched way back in 1992.
At 92, what's its focus?
Its main aim is to protect elephants, crucially, their habitats, and also the corridors they use to move between habitats.
Corridors.
Yeah.
Like pathways between forest patches.
Yes, exactly. We now have, I think, 33 designated elephant reserves and around 150 identified corridors. These are vital to prevent populations from becoming isolated and to maintain genetic diversity. Fragmentation is a big issue, you see.
Makes sense. Any other interesting projects?
There's Project RE-Hey. It's quite innovative.
RE-Hey, what does that involve?
It stands for Reducing Elephant-Human Attacks Using Bees. They set up fences made of bee boxes.
Bee boxes?
Yeah.
Seriously? Yes. Elephants are apparently quite wary of bees, so these bee fences act as a natural deterrent along the edges of farms or villages. It's a clever, non-lethal way to try and reduce conflict.
That's fascinating, a really creative solution. Are there global efforts that link up with India's work?
Definitely. There's World Elephant Day, August 12th, which aims to raise awareness globally.
Right.
And then there's the MIKE program monitoring the illegal killing of elephants. It's an international effort across Asia and Africa, tracking poaching levels to help target conservation funds and law enforcement. India is part of that.
So data sharing across borders to understand the bigger picture.
Precisely. It
Okay.
helps build effective strategies.
You mentioned physical differences earlier, size, ears, tusks. Any other quick distinctions between Asian and African elephants? A couple of neat details, actually. If you look at the tip of the trunk, Asian elephants have one finger-like projection, while African elephants have two.
One versus two fingers. Okay.
Their skin tends to be smoother, too, compared to the more wrinkled skin of African elephants. And crucially, their conservation status differs. Asian elephants are listed as endangered by the IUCN.
And African.
They've actually been split into two species recently. The African forest elephant is critically endangered, and the African savanna elephant is endangered. So all elephants are facing serious threats.
That really puts it in perspective. Critically endangered. Wow.
Yeah, the situation is precarious globally.
Well, this has been a really insightful deep dive. It underscores how complex elephant conservation is, but also how vital. Essential knowledge for anyone preparing for the UPSC, I'd say.
Absolutely. The recent poaching incident just reinforces that constant vigilance and adaptive strategies are needed. You can't let up.
And recognizing their ecological role, their economic impact through tourism, it all ties into why protection is so critical, a core theme for the UPSC syllabus.
Definitely.
So maybe a final thought for our listeners, especially those deep in their UPSC prep. Considering everything we've discussed, the threats, the current efforts, what kind of innovative solutions, perhaps beyond what's already happening, could really strengthen elephant protection in India? Something to mull over.
That's a great question. Thinking beyond current frameworks is always necessary.
We hope this discussion has been useful for your preparation. If you found it helpful, do give us a like, subscribe for more deep dives, and please drop any questions or comments below. We do try to engage with them.
Yes, please do.
And remember, today's discussion drew heavily from recent reporting in The Hindu. Thanks for tuning in.